Good morning, everyone. Welcome to my driving range in Kelowna, British Columbia. Today, let's talk about pitching, sequencing for shots right around 40 to maybe 70 yards, depending on what kind of club you're using. Right now, I have my 54 wedge here, 54 degrees. Mizuno, I like these wedges a lot. Just ordered a new set of 3. I've always noticed somebody that pitches the ball really well moves a little bit different than somebody who smashes the ball more than 300 yards. Before I go into details, I want to show you how that looks. So here's somebody that moves efficiently with a finesse shot. And here's somebody who sometimes struggles with a finesse shot. What are those differences? We're going to talk about pelvis and torso separation. I'm going to put these sticks into my belt loop, and I'm going to put the other stick on top of my chest like this. So in the backswing, if you want to create a lot of power and a lot of tension and a lot of load in your muscles, you want to separate the pelvis and torso like this. The norm for a 7-iron on the PGA Tour, somebody who moves really efficiently, it's about 45 degrees of pelvis turn, and the shoulders are about 90 degrees, as a rule of thumb. The better players separate even more. If you do that same separation in a pitch shot, you're creating too much load, too much jerkiness, and too much aggressiveness, and too much dynamics for this like finesse shot. So a good pitcher of the golf ball have always moved, you know, they have separation, but much less, right? So it feels like almost the pelvis and the torso are moving together. Please don't do that when trying to maximize your distance. But one thing I think really good players need to learn that hit the ball really far is to, instead of cranking on the separation, loading the muscles, you need to go and move a little bit more together. My old friend Lanto Griffin, who I roomed with and traveled with as a mini tour player, he won the Houston Open a couple years ago on the PGA Tour. He was phenomenal from tee to green, but he always struggled in the beginning of his career with pitching. And one thing came to my mind years later, after I started learning more about coaching, that his problem was indeed the fact that he did not release his hips and took some speed and some dynamics and some aggressiveness out of his pitching motion. So one more time from the down the line view. Here's a good separation for a powerful shot, and here's more the pitching motion that turns more like together. So one more time, the difference. Here's the bad version, lots of separation, and then I can get a lot of aggressiveness, and all of a sudden my 54 flew 70 yards with that little swing, and now I'm taking some separation out of it. I'm releasing my hips backwards. I feel much less tension in my transverse abdominals. And the ball comes off much softer, landed about 45 and almost went to that red flag, which is exactly 50 yards. One more time, the good version of it. Almost made it. So why am I taking tension and separation out of the system? So you can swing longer, so you have more time. If you create a lot of tension and a lot of separation, you're going to have to do a very short swing. Here's the bad version again. So again, flew 60 yards. And here's one more time the good version. I can swing much longer, less separation. So a lot of times on the PGA Tour, you don't get a really good picture of the golf ball and somebody who smashes the ball 320. Of course, the guys who hit it 320 also pitch decently. I mean, they make a living playing, but somebody who's extraordinarily good in pitching typically has less separation, such as Brian Gay or Steve Stricker, and we all know those guys have a hard time hitting it more than 300 yards. So one last view, I'm going to move the camera around and get you guys watching it from this angle, from the caddy angle, and then we're going to wrap up the video. So one more time from the face on you. Lots of separation. The lower body is resisting, the torso is winding up. And it's going to be very smashing. "70 yards. Too far." Now I'm going to release my hips. Much nicer. Much nicer. Alright, so I hope that helps. Separate your body for long drives. Move together for short finesse shots.